morning and welcome to What Do I Think the New Normal Means for the Advisor Community session today. During the next 15 minutes or so, I'll be sharing with you my views and observations of the last 5 months, along with what the market may have in store for us all over the next 12 to 18. But before I start, let me introduce myself. My name is John Scrivens and I manage the business development team here at Skipton Intermediaries. We currently have 12 field-based BDMs and 6 telephone. For longer than I care to remember, I've worked in financial services and carried out roles such as arrears advisor, mortgage underwriter, mortgage advisor, branch manager, and BDM, to name a few. So it's fair to say I've spent a lot of time and got a lot of experience of working in the mortgage business, but never during a global pandemic. As I was preparing for the session today, I spent some time reflecting on both my personal and work experiences of the last 5 months, and it's fair to say both have definitely brought their challenges. On a personal level, I've had to adapt fast to working from home 5 days a week, along with my 2 young girls and wife who also started working from home. On the work front, at the beginning of lockdown, I was really mindful of how the team would be feeling and spent a lot of time touching base with them, ensuring that they and their personal lives and work would be balanced right. For me and Skipton, it's absolutely vital that our people are happy and feel motivated to be able to be the best that they can. You would have seen from today's programme that I will be talking to you about the mortgage market and about the next 12 to 18 months could have in store for us all. Let me caveat that firstly by saying a lot has changed over the last 5 months. A lot will continue to change. For example, the government's furlough scheme was introduced. Customers could request 3-month payment deferrals from their lenders. Estate agents closed and valuers were unable to value properties in the traditional way. And billions of pounds have been pumped into the economy by central government, to name a few. And things will continue to change. Sadly, I don't have a crystal ball and I can't look into the future. So what I thought I'd start to do today was share with you what our views of 2020 started off looking like pre-COVID. The mortgage market finished really strong in 2019, and a lot of people believe that it will continue to grow into 2020. In 2019, mortgage lending supported over 70% of all housing transactions, and gross mortgage lending in the UK totaled 268 billion. Fast forward 5 months, and we can now start to reflect on the first half of 2020. You will see on this graph gross lending value in millions. And as you can see, at the start of the year started off ahead at the same time in 2019. The same continued through February and March. And as we all know, lockdown then hit on the 23rd. This immediately affected the purchase market, as I'm sure you know, mainly as valuers became unable to access properties. Quickly, lenders started to adapt to lockdown. Issues such as head offices closing and underwriters working from home all needed to be addressed. Surprisingly, applications remained steady, especially for remortgage and buy-to-let customers. The early data for July suggests that the bounce back from lockdown has helped the market far outstrip the performance of that back in July 2019. But I know the story for you and brokers has been somewhat less positive. From the data I have seen, brokers are placing less cases than they were this time last year, and on average placing 21 mortgages a month. That's a reduction of some 27% in 2019 and 25% in 2018. It's probably fair to acknowledge, though, that you, brokers, have and continue to find it really challenging to cope with the impact of the pandemic. You've had to work harder to generate new business and are spending longer sourcing and securing mortgage deals. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, and I will come back to this in a moment. A group company here at Skipton is Connell's Estate Agency and Valuations. They have observed a high level of interest through June and July, and we have seen new applicant registrations 22% ahead of June 2019. Appetite from first-time buyers has been particularly strong, with this sector accounting for 35% of registrations post the reopening of the market, up from 30% seen earlier in the year. One question remains though, is this increase in activity a result of pent-up demand, or does it reflect the impact of a once-in-a-lifetime reassessment of the nation's housing needs in the wake of the 50-day plus lockdown? Only time's going to tell on that one, but we will certainly be keeping a watching eye. So, with valuers back, estate agents reopening, and brokers adapting to a new normal, what are today's issues? Well, one thing it isn't is lack of demand from customers, which is great news for everyone. This month, Skipton announced in its half-year results that gross lending was down by 20% year on year, some 400 million. This only tells half the story, and in fact misses the biggest point. In the first half of 2020, we facilitated 7.4% of the entire mortgage market in the UK. Traditionally, this is only 2%. With more customers looking to move home, refinancing, or simply upgrade homes due to working from home, I thought I'd share with you what some of the biggest challenges facing lenders are. Well, it starts with trying to understand how many of our customers that took a payment deferment period are truly able to start repaying their mortgage again. Or, with so many customers furloughed, how many will have a job to return to in October? Or, what will the property market do in the medium to long term? Over the last few months, as lenders have battled their way through trying to understand the answers to some of these questions, you'll see lenders continue to come and go from the market, especially at the higher loan to value range. Don't expect this to change anytime soon. I foresee this remaining the norm throughout the remainder of Q3 and well into Q4, mainly due to the lack of lenders entering this market space. What we have seen over the last few months is lenders attempting to do so and then getting swamped with the full force of the market, especially at the higher loan to value ranges. Throughout the remainder of 2020, and providing indicators such as unemployment and the early quick start to the purchase market remain strong, we may see some lenders returning, and this will support the first time buyer and next time movers, especially at the 90 to 95% range. Well, that's enough about the mortgage market. I wanted to share with you all today some personal reflections on our new normal and working from home 5 days a week. If you had asked me pre-COVID what I and our field-based development managers did on a daily basis, it would look and feel very different to the average day now. Before, the BDMs would host 3 or 4 face-to-face meetings with brokers across the country, which over the course of a month would mean travelling in excess of 1,000 miles in some instances. Fast forward 5 months, and last week alone, we interacted with over 700 brokers. Today, to do this, we have swapped our cars and boardrooms for our kitchens, home offices, and lounges. It would have been easy to assume our roles would remain the same. However, we had the opportunity to push the boundaries of broker support and try something new, which hadn't been explored before: broker webinars. At Skipton, we thought creatively about the role of the development team during the pandemic. We wanted to continue to maintain our excellent broker relationships and in the most effective way as possible, and webinars has certainly helped us do that. In early April, we shared a short video on LinkedIn advertising the upcoming series of webinars and asked for hot topics so that we could begin to design the most appropriate content for our brokers. We quickly discovered that brokers wanted short, snappy, and to the point content lasting no longer than 30 minutes. So this is what we did. Today, BDMs at Skipton continue to run webinars and we continue to evolve the content. What I have learned is that going forward, we need to strike the right balance between remotely supporting brokers and having face-to-face conversations to maintain relationships. Getting the right balance will ensure we continue to develop the business partnerships we've spent years creating. Finally, before I close and summarise, I wanted to share with you all the important part that packaging a case for your customers can mean for the application process with a lender. Mortgage lenders, including ourselves, have not been the quickest at adapting to the new technology that's been available. And at Skipton, we are 2 years into a 5-year plan in order to become a front runner in the use of tech. Over the last 12 months, we have removed the need for a wet signature, We now accept electronic identification and will soon be introducing the use of electronic verification of income. All of these tweaks, in some instances, have enabled us to start producing same-day offers, which is great news for you, your customers, and us. But with the use of more technology comes a need for more accurate data inputting and packaging of any material documents needed for cases. This is the part that all administrators and advisors play. Please help us to get this right first time and send documents in at the start of the application process. If you have any questions today regarding any of these points, then please, via the virtual lobby, come and visit Andy Cutmore, one of our very own business development managers. So to summarise, my recently learnt experience of working during a global pandemic in the mortgage world would be prepared to adapt and adapt quickly to working differently, especially when balancing your work and your life pressures. And try new things like we have. Webinars is certainly tick the mark. Hopefully you find listening to me of interest, and I now ask you these questions to think about. What have you learned about your new way of working? And how have your customers adapted to living and working differently through the pandemic? And what do they need from you now that's maybe different to what you've given them in the past? Thank you for listening. Have a great day and hopefully speak soon. Bye-bye.